All right, hey everyone. Thank you for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you are watching this. Today's video, I want to talk about why in the world do you want to leave the cities? Why do you want to leave the cities? And trust me, I still live in the city. I love the city. I love the convenience, and I love city life. I'm gonna tell you some of the things I do love about city life. Even though we don't eat it often, I love the fact that I can call and I can have a pizza delivered to my house. Or if we're out and about, we can call ahead and say, hey, we're coming to pick up, tacos or Thai food or whatever. In the city, you can pretty much get anything you want to eat. So that's one good thing about the city. In the city, mostly that's where my friends are. Okay, and even family. In the city, it's convenience of shopping. You can always shop in the city. On the way home, you can stop and get your tube of toothpaste, a tube of deodorant, and some dishwashing liquid. So there's a lot of convenience of living in the city. Now, let's talk about why in the world you want to get out of the city and you want to start making preparation to get out now. Reason why you want to do that is because when things happen, and they happen where a lot of people are around, what's going to happen? Well, you can look at different scenarios that are tragic, and you can see that if something happens on a larger scale, it'll come right to your neck of the woods. Case in point, prime example. Okay, let's look at Katrina. Katrina happened several years ago. However, everything since Katrina, and we can go back even further, but I'll just come. I'll go from Katrina and then move forward. When Katrina happened, there were stories of people couldn't even get out of their homes. Okay, so that's number one. They had to cut holes into their own roofs. To even just to survive, which is a sad situation. Okay. Then once they got evacuated and they were at the dome, you had thousands and thousands of people in one place without rule of law, which means the people who don't normally follow the law, they run rampant. You hear stories of people stealing from each other, people raping, pillaging. It's sad what we do as humans. I keep saying, we are terrible at being human beings. And if you guys haven't watched it, go watch the Earthling documentary. Because it goes to show you how sad we truly are as being humans. I digressed. So, that's just an example. And then, you had the state and local authorities coming in and confiscating people's guns. I heard story after story of people coming, of the authorities coming in and confiscating people's guns. And I don't even know if these people have gotten their weapons back yet. So, that's just one example right there of when tragedy strikes, things that will go down and can go down and have gone down in certain scenarios. So it makes me believe that if anything happens in your neighborhood, guess what? You can expect the same thing. You can expect mass panic. Expect that. You can expect martial law. Okay? You can expect riots. How about, we already know there's going to be nothing at the shelves in the store. So why wait and put yourself and your family in a situation where you would have to try then to be reactive as opposed to being proactive. So that's why I choose for myself and my family, we're making preparations to leave the city now. Is it going to happen overnight? Probably not. Would I love for it to? Yeah, I would love to hit the lottery tonight. Give me like $5 or $6 million and move to a secluded location where I have a stockpile of everything Got me a couple tractors, and we can farm and grow acres and acres and acres of food and not have to worry about, and solar power and enough battery storage where we can power the whole entire house, and wind systems where we're trapping and capturing. I guess that would be kinetic energy. Well, wind turbines. And that would be the great life right there. And have a water well, have water containers already on site, and all we gotta do is get out there and build it for maybe a month, 2 months, have it the way we want it, put in some I don't even really want paved roads. The paved roads would be nice, but that's like the dream. That's not reality for most of us. Most of us have to work. Most of us have to work really hard. And most of us have spouses that have to work just so we can make ends meet. Now, there are some things that you can start doing now that will help you start moving into the level of more preparedness. And I'm going to give you a few things that you can start doing right now that will help you move out to cities, start living a more homestead prepper life away. All right. So number one, if you don't have one, you should go get one. And if you don't have this other thing I'm gonna mention, you should start one. All right, because most of us don't have enough money. It's just the way the system is set up. The system is set up where you go to work. Because we all been taught the same thing. What? Go to school, get a degree. Go to college, get another degree. Then go find a job that you're gonna work at for 40 years, and then go into retirement and live off of 40% of what you couldn't make it on 100%. So I would encourage you, while you're living the city life, go and get you another job. If you work during the daytime, get you a night job. This is only for the serious people that want to get out of the cities. Okay, you want to buy some property in the country and you want to live a homesteading life. All right, get you another job. Talk to your spouse. If you have children, then those are things you have to work out. My children are grown, but if you have small children, those are things that you have to work out. It's so much easier and better when you have two people working toward the same goal, especially if you're married. Now, if you're single, hey, today, go out and get you another job. Bus tables, wait tables, deliver pizzas, get you this is a good one, get you a newspaper route. If you can find one, they're so hard to get, so hard to come by. If you got some kind of skill, start a business, on the side, and do side hustle. Do whatever you can to make you another $100, $300, $500 a week. You'd be so surprised by doing that little activity of what's going to help you on the next one, which is point number 2. So number 1, go out and get you another job, get you a side hustle, start a business, do something to start earning more income. Number 2, pay off all of your debts. Pay off all of your debts. And I know when you live in the city, you run up credit cards. I know you got to have a car payment and all that other kind of crap. If you're looking for a car right now, I strongly encourage you, save up some money and go to the auction, buy you something decent at the auction. I've bought several auction cars and they have lasted for years. I find cars on the side of the road, people are selling, private owners. You usually get better deals that way, but do everything that you can to not finance a car, because especially a brand new car. Soon as you finance a car, especially a brand new car, and you drive it off the lot, you just sentence yourself to 7 years of payments. 7 years. That's the average car loan now. Think about that. As soon as you pay the car off, it's trying to buy another car. Trust me, I know, because that's what we did about 5 years ago. We bought a car. We're on track. We're going, and I practice what I preach. Now I'm gonna tell you guys some of the things that we are doing currently to help us get out the city. But Number one, get you another job, get you an extra job, get you a side hustle, start your business. That's number one. Number two, pay all of your debts off and cut it. Don't use those credit cards. It's great to have. They're great to have and build credit, but don't use them. And if you do use them, do not go above 10% on any given card. That will keep you at excellent credit. You know what? Maybe I need to do a video about credit. I will. Eventually, that's going to be something that I'm going to do. All right. So, number one, make more money, earn more money. Number two, pay off your debts. And this is a caveat to number two. If you cannot afford to pay cash for it, then that means you cannot afford to have it. If you cannot afford to pay cash for it, that means you don't pay for it, you don't buy it. Now I'm going to tell you what we do. We have become so disciplined to the point that we use credit cards, but we've gotten to the point that we use credit cards to the point where they benefit us as opposed to are a detriment to our lives. For example, if we put a majority of our bills every month on credit card. One, so we can earn points. We get points back for travel and and things of that aspect. I don't really know how it works because my wife handles all that. But we do that. We pay those cards off every month. We paid off all of our little cards. We transferred the balances of one card to a rather large card, which is immediately when we did that, when we paid off all the small cards, it took everything down to a zero balance. Well, guess what it did to our credit? It shot our credit up like crazy, like 30 points. And we already had decent credit. So that was one thing that happened. Second thing, while I'm on credit cards, is just don't fall into that trap. If you're buying a home and purchasing a home, then look at it as how can I use this to advance? And a lot of times, just because, now this is going to be a word to the wise right here, just because you can qualify for it does not mean you have to buy it. For example, case in point, if you can qualify for a $150,000 house, then perhaps you should buy and only purchase a $90,000 house. Trust me on this. I'm giving you some sound, solid, good advice right now. And I'm going to tell you what you can do with the house. You can get into the house, especially if you buy one that has any kind of equity. There's a thing called HELOC, Home Equity Line of Credit. I don't know why I'm going into a whole bunch of finances here, but Home Equity Line of Credit. There's a way where you can pull the equity out of your house, apply it to the principal of your home, set up where you can use your home equity line as a checking account. I just say as an account. Spend money out that account, and you can pay your home off in 3 to 5 years on the salary that you're earning right now. Now, let's say you did that, right? I mean, this is a long-term plan, but it's a quick way of getting you out the city. Let's say you bought a house, $90,000, and you didn't accumulate any more debt, and you did the strategy I just told you about. And over the next 3 to 5 years, you paid that house off. Then you turned around and sold that house for 120, let's just say 110, okay, which gives you now equity of 90, 100. That's like $20,000 that you made off of it. You can take that $110,000, go buy something in the country, commute back and forth to your jobs if you have to. You haven't saved enough money, and then do the same thing that you did for your country house as you did for your city house. How cool would that be? Now that's like a 10-year plan right there of getting you out the city. But you gotta start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, because if you don't ever start, you'll never get to the destination. That just is what it is. I don't know anybody who's done anything successfully without having a plan. You got to think about it. You got to write it down. You got to implement it and put it in action. Just the way it is. I wished that I could wave a magic wand and I could change your life, but that is not reality. So let's recap. There are several things that I want you to start doing, okay, that's going to help you move from the city to the country living and having a homestead. Number one, start earning more income. Start earning more income. I don't care if it's $50 a week. Start earning more income. Because think about it like this. If you did $50 a week, 4 weeks in a year, 4 weeks in a month, that's an extra $200 that you could apply to what? Getting out of debt quicker, faster. That's $200 a month that you're using to get out of debt. Let's say you had a $2,400 debt that you need to pay off. Well, guess what? An extra $50 a week, $200 a month times 12 is $2,400. Bam! You just paid that debt off. You could take that same $200 a month and keep snowballing the debts that you've created and accumulated, and get out of debt much quicker, much faster. Number two. Okay, number one was making and earning more money. Number two is getting out of debt. I talked about both of them in the same recap. Okay, but get out of debt. You would be so excited. And when I went to my wife and I was like, hey, we have got to pay these debts off, and we're gonna do it before we get out of 2019. We're out of debt. Okay. We took some of our savings. We applied it. We are aggressively every month paying. We don't spend anything on extras. We've been living it up, been blowing money here and there. And I was like, nope, we got to stop it. We have got to get ourselves to the point where we are out of the city. How are we going to do that? And we have a 20-year plan that's going to set up a retirement and set up a homestead, in the process. But like I said, if you don't start somewhere, you'll never get started. You'll never get there. So hopefully these couple of tips helped you. With every video that you guys watch, even if they're not mine, I want you to listen and just try to gather one tip, one trick, one meaningful amount of information that you didn't have before that can help you move forward in your life and with what you're trying to do. So as always, thank you for being here. If you've been helped by anything I've said, consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to post daily, or at least I'm going to try to, and I'm going to try to post multiple videos daily, simply because I feel like I'm behind the power curve. I feel like I'm truly behind, and I got to try to catch up with some of these folks who have been doing this for years. So in order to do that, I got to do what is called compressed time frames, which is another thing I will teach you guys, compressing time frame. Every time I talk on these videos, I come up with more ideas of things to talk about. But as always, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you guys. Comment, like, share, ask questions. If you have a video idea, please mention it so I can upload it. I'd be glad to take you guys' suggestions. And thank you. I cannot thank you enough, and I love you enough to tell you the truth. You guys take care. Be blessed.